Joining us now on Blitz is Habersham Central Lady Raiders head coach Bill Bradley. Coach Bradley, first of all, thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely. Happy to be with you.
Yeah, I'm excited. We're now 1 day away from opening night for you guys against Prince Avenue Christian. What's the excitement like right now around your team?
We're just excited to be competing again. We had a scrimmage Tuesday night, and that's what everybody was talking about. Just happy to be back to some semblance of normalcy with high school sports and sports in general. So we had a good crowd on the road, and it was just people excited to be back out watching sports.
Absolutely. It's amazing how much we took that for granted, but that's I couldn't say it any better. It's just getting back to that normalcy creates even more excitement. But, when you look back at last year, and I know we don't want to focus too much on last year, but how big was making the playoffs for this team in terms of the program now, but also for the future too?
You're right. It was really big for us. And last year's season, we had to learn about ourselves and things like that. And we just steadily improved last year to get into where we were in the playoffs. And we played a very, very good team, the first round of the playoffs, and lost in two highly competitive games. But it showed us how close we were. And the fact that we only graduated one senior brings a renewed energy and excitement to continue that improvement, to say, you know what, we really belong in the and should set our goals rather than just making the playoffs to, okay, let's host playoff games. Let's belong and play deep into the state tournament rather than hope we make the state tournament. So it was a really great jumping off point, diving board, if you will, to get going to where we want our program to be.
Yeah, and you kind of stole my next question from you, which was that you got 8 starters coming back, which is such a blessing. What have you kind of told the girls what your primary expectation is of them this year? Being, again, like you said, that they've now made the playoffs, and now that expectation kind of goes up, I think.
Yeah, and you're using a word that I've been using a lot in practice is expectations. And I said, we talked about it yesterday where, I'm a little bit more intense this year than I was last year because I have high expectations. I have high expectations of each player. I have high expectations of our coaching staff and myself. And we ought to have that expectation of each other because of our potential. And again, potential in athletics is a scary word, but we do have the potential of being a really, really good team. And we talk about the only thing to stop us from that is us in our mentality.
Yeah, and you kind of mentioned in our preview story for Habersham Central that in a region this tough, it kind of comes down to who makes the fewest mistakes, I think is the way you put it. What has been the emphasis that you've had on maybe some of the little things that the team's been working on to make
the biggest emphasis that we've tried to place this year is just being disciplined. There's so many different ways you can do this and or that, or different philosophies. Should you bunt here? Should you hit and run? Those kind of things. And everybody's got their own personal opinion of that. And I tell our kids, if we're disciplined and do the things that we say we're going to do, then we're going to be okay regardless of our philosophy of what we're doing. So we've got to be disciplined on the base paths. We made some base running mistakes last year. We've got to be disciplined in getting the bunt down. We didn't bunt a tremendous amount last year because we didn't have that much confidence. Well, we've got to work on that to get better at it so every kid on our team can do the little things to hopefully make a difference in those close ball games.
Absolutely. And last question for you. I want to know, as great as this team was last year on the field, when we talk about off the field, that matters a whole lot too because that translates into wins and losses. But what kind of team do you have off the field?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, they are cheering for one another. They're getting along on the field and in the dugout and in the hitting facility. The older ones are pulling for the younger ones, and it's really they're getting to be a closer knit group, and I'm enjoying watching that transpire as well.
Cool. Well, we're so excited for tomorrow's first pitch, Coach, and I know you are too. So looking for great things out of your program this year. Thank you again so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.